Would you please stand as we welcome the faculty and students of the College of Dental Medicine, class of 2017, led by Faculty Assembly Chair Dr. Jay Boschman.
That was the first time that's ever been used.
Hey.
Please be seated. Thank you. What a beautiful day. Beautiful day outside. For those of you that are not from Maine, it's a well-kept secret that it's like this all the time here, year-round. Did you know that? Just don't tell anybody. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. John Ryder. It's my honor to serve as the Dean of the University of New England College of Dental Medicine. Welcome to the first hooding ceremony of the first class of dentists of the first dental school in Maine and northern New England. And as our founding dean said, you can never say that again. So also welcome to Innovation Hall. This is brand new. It's actually used to be an arsenal, and it's been remodeled for us. Beautiful facilities. We're going to have a reception off to the right there after the ceremony is done. So now UNE has its own island and its own armory. And are we going to be printing our own currency at some point? So I'd like to welcome all the guests here today, including our speakers, Dr. Danielle Rippage, President of the University of New England, our founding dean, Dr. James Coble, and Provost and Senior Vice President of UNE, Dr. Rick Valakovic, President and CEO of the American Dental Education Association, Dr. David Velick, President of the Class of 2017, and Dr. Chelsea Toussaint, newly minted dentist. I'd also like to welcome some special friends and supporters of the college, the UNE Board of Trustee members, members of the local dental community, members of the State Board of Dental Examiners and the Maine Dental Association. I'd also like to recognize those that have donated to and supported the college, Northeast Delta Dental, honored guests, and other dignitaries. Could you all please rise and be recognized, please? I know there's some of you out there. Thank you. Thank you for your support. I'd especially like to thank all the parents, grandparents, spouses, children, extended family, friends, and students, not only for being here tonight, but also for your support of your graduate and our college. I think it's important to recognize parents and family members that are dentists, physicians, and those who have achieved high levels of education and were able to serve as role models and mentors to their student. And I think it's equally important to recognize those parents and families whose graduate may be the first in their family to reach the doctoral level, and the hard work, inspiration, and support those families have also given to their new graduate. Can I have all the family members please rise and be recognized? Thank you. I'd like to thank the heart and soul of our college, the talented and dedicated faculty and staff that have come to us from around the world and who have provided the knowledge, skills, wisdom, and opportunities for students to learn and become the outstanding healthcare professionals that I am convinced they are. Could you all please stand and be recognized? Thank you. I'm just thinking of student evaluations in my mind at that point when you were yelling. And of course, I'd like to thank you, the students, for choosing UNE for your dental education and your support of each other through thick and thin. I've said many times that if I was in a class of one in dental school, I don't think I would have made it through. It was the support and encouragement that we had for each other that made the difference. Dental school is very difficult, and this first class did not have the benefit of upperclassmen to guide them. They had to figure it out on their own, and boy, did they rise to the occasion. It was impressive how they supported each other. Some of them supported each other so much they even married each other. Could the class of 2017 please rise and be recognized? Thank you. Let's see. They still take direction. That's good. I'd just like to quickly also thank Mr. Travis Erickson, wherever he is. Did the lion's share of the organization of this today. He's been working very frantically. Excellent job, Travis. Thank you very much. And all the staff members. Thank you. He's available for rent if anyone wants to put on a show. Earlier today, the university awarded the first 62 Doctor of Dental Medicine degrees to our graduating class. Thank you. We were, of course, very proud of the pioneering class and look forward to following their careers as they start the next phase of their journey. I am humbled to be serving as the dean and to be the one to help facilitate today's event. And at the same time, I'm very cognizant of all the hard work and the planning by so many visionary people and dedicated people that helped create our college and ultimately made this event possible. Many of those that were involved in this are in the room today. They blend with the families of our graduates, all smiling ear to ear, as we are all proud parents today, delighted and amazed with our child as she's born and grows, finds his place in the world, and contributes to society. Our college and its graduates embody the mission and passion that is our culture. They now have a purpose not only to be excellent doctors, but also to be socially responsible, publicly engaged, transformative leaders. You must hold tight to your ethics and express your values through collaboration, inclusiveness, tolerance, empathy, and commitment to lifelong learning in your profession. You will use what you have learned to work in a complex and ambiguous world where we may have the medicines and procedures to treat a wide variety of diseases, but where millions of people still don't have access to those tools. You will need to utilize all your knowledge and the best possible technology to successfully treat your patients, but at the same time, you must take the time to make personal connections. While treating the immediate causes of disease, it will be your mission to also understand and address the personal, geographic, cultural, and psychological causes of disease as well. And it is now your professional obligation to improve the oral health and extend the quality of life of people in your communities. All of you are going to make a difference, and a difference is what the world needs. So thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome our visionary president, Dr. Danielle Rippage, to join me at the podium. Dr. Rippage, I'd like to present you with a framed medal in recognition of your service and commitment to the College of Dental Medicine. Without your vision and leadership, this college would not have been possible. I already cried once today. This medal is affixed with a seal of the college, will also be awarded to each member of the class of 2017. On behalf of the hundreds of thousands of future patients that will receive care from this class and all future classes, thank you very much.
It's true. It's a very emotional day. I'm going to be ending my time, 11 years here at the University of New England, next month. And so one of the things that I wanted to accomplish during my time here was actually graduating this first class in the College of Dental Medicine. So it's a special joy that I bring, and one of the joys of my time here has been this college, watching it get established, watching it grow, and now seeing these young men and women who are going to carry forward a legacy. It's not often in higher education that you get the opportunity to start a college that you know is going to touch so many hundreds of thousands of lives, as Dean Ryder just said. And this is really a celebration of all of you, but I'm just going to take a little trip down memory lane. I promise it'll be brief, but when I first arrived in Maine, 2006, everywhere I would go, people would say, when are you going to start a dental school? I hear you like to build things. Would you build us a dental school? Is that something you would think of? And it was really across every opportunity, almost speaking engagement I had as I was going out to meet people, that was brought up. And I have to tell you, it was an intimidating request, but for whatever reason, there had never been a College of Dental Medicine in Northern New England. So I thought, well, there must be good reasons that hasn't happened. But I began to learn more about it. There was a real shortage of dentists. The far majority of dentists in the area were over 55, and so the shortfall that was predicted was becoming even more serious than I think people had realized. Compounding the problem, Maine dentists and dentists in northern New England were not evenly spread in areas of need. And so you realize that oral health was really suffering, and as a health sciences university, we were probably the best prepared to help identify and manage that need. It was a glaring gap in healthcare for the citizens of this area. Looking at the situation sort of objectively, we knew it would not be easy to build. We only wanted to build a first-rate College of Dental Medicine, and the facilities, the technology, everything that was needed to teach dentistry in the 21st century was a daunting task. But eventually we came up with a funding model, and we developed a plan that was really helped in large part by Northeast Delta Dental to begin to build the college. Then we were able to secure a grant, the first grant the state of Maine ever gave to a private university, $3.5 million to us to help start, and that was from the citizens of Maine because they knew how critical this need was. The state voters approved that in 2010, and that's when we knew that our oral health center and the dream that we had for the dental medicine college was going to become a reality. It was a leap of faith for the people of the state of Maine to invest in the University of New England. It was a leap of faith for Northeast Delta Dental to give us millions of dollars on the promise that we would build a quality dental school. And it was definitely a leap of faith that has paid off. None of this would have happened. I have to tell you, two gentlemen that we're going to hear from in a minute, Rick Valakovic, who actually was an outside consultant advisor, and I said, if I were to pick the best person I don't want three names, I'm going to put you on the spot, the best person to come in the United States to help me build this College of Dental Medicine, who would you choose? He said, well, I'd like to give you a short list, and I can't really, I said, I need one name. He said, Jim Coble, you got to find him. He'll build you a school. And he was right. Dr. Coble came and was the founding dean of your class. You all remember that first year. And we really worked, he, again, as I said, came on a leap of faith to help us do this. The leap of faith has been validated by all of you, though. You were the ones who came was, as I said this morning, the Oral Health Center was just a cavity, no pun intended, in the ground when you arrived. And you had the confidence, and you knew that, that what you wanted and what we wanted together we could achieve. So you not only took on dental education, but you took on the task of building a legacy, building this college for the university and for the region. And you've worked so hard over the past 4 years to help us grow and develop important aspects of your discipline. I think it's got to have been an amazing education for all of you along the way. You've established a culture, and you've set a high bar for everyone who will follow you. And I have just so much regard for you and how you've represented yourself and the University of New England as you've defined this incredible College of Dental Medicine for us. Your professionalism, your generosity of spirit. If I had a bad day, all I had to do was find this class studying somewhere or walking through the halls, and it lifted my spirits. It was inspiring. You've kept that faith through all the 4 years that you've been here. Our accreditation self-study, for those of you, we've gone through accreditation processes. The last version was they were here about a month ago to review everything that we've done. And we got an incredibly perfect, 180, these are dentists. I mean, they're picky people. And 180 different items that we've had to meet over the development of this college, and the college got a perfect score. All 180 positives. And while that's remarkable and was remarked on by the site visit team that they had never been on a team with 180 perfect checks, that they had not seen that, the thing that I was the most proud of, because it really speaks to the quality of the dentists that are sitting before you, they did a self-study of the Oral Health Center, and 100%, and this is another one of those amazing numbers, 100% of the patients treated reported that they were treated with respect and to a person. They said all of their concerns were addressed, they had a positive experience, and they would not hesitate to refer anyone of their family or friends to our Oral Health Center. So it's just, I mean, these are just remarkable young men and women and professionals that are going out to take care of people and their oral health needs. You have built an incredibly positive image for our program, and I will always be very personally grateful to you. I suppose you didn't exactly know what you were getting into when you came. We weren't sure what we were getting into either, to be honest. But there's one moment that some of you have heard me tell this story before, but I have to recall it because, it embodies the spirit of this class. And that's what you hear GPAs, and you know how wonderful, but this goes to a classmate of yours that I think it's worth retelling. Prior to the opening of the Oral Health Center, we were building the building. You know where I'm going, okay? And Governor LePage wanted to come down to Portland, who was our governor in Maine, to make an announcement, and he wanted to use the backdrop of the Oral Health Center for his talk. So I'm over waiting, dirt floors, steel, we'd hung steel, but everybody was hard hat construction. And so I'm walking around waiting for him to come, and a young man comes up to me and says, "I'm so excited, I can't wait for the building to be finished." One of the construction guys in his hard hat. I said, "Me too, I'm really excited." He said, "President Rippage, I just have to tell you, I'm so excited. I got my letter. I'm going to be coming into the first class in the dental school." And I looked at him, I'm just like, "You're coming?" He said, "In August, I'm going to come to dental school." I said, "You're building your own dental school? Who does that? Who does that?" And he said, "I've known this is what I want to do. I've been working for 2 years with Allied Cook Construction." And so Matt Cook, his boss, is over there saying, "What's going on?" He said, I haven't told my boss I'm quitting." So we outed him. So but I think I outed him because I was so excited. Dustin Nadeau might be the only dentist in America that built his own dental school, but he did it. And I tell you that, but that's just one story. Each person here has a unique story to tell about how they found their way and the path that they took at arriving to UNE. And I know that now you leave with shared stories, that you've bonded over this time and become a class that will forever live in the history of the university. Your sacrifice, your dedication to the program, 62 of you all finishing together as you head off into this important profession. I want to thank you for helping us create something truly amazing here. And I know you will make important contributions to the lives of your patients for years to come. And I am just so very proud today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rippage. It's my pleasure now to ask the founding dean, provost, and senior vice president, Dr. James Coble, to join me at the podium. Dr. Coble.
If you cry, I'm going to cry, buddy.
Okay, that's what these are for. I'd like to present you with a frame medal in recognition of your service, commitment to the College of Dental Medicine as founding dean. Without your leadership, we would not have the quality and innovative college that we have today. Thank you, sir.
Just going to stand here for a few minutes and soak all of this in, because it's unbelievable to me that we are here in this building with this group of people. I wish all of you could stand up here with me and look out at yourselves. You all look great. It's a beautiful facility. And you'll find me not looking too much at the members of the class, because it may be too much for me and I may not be able to finish, which some of you might be happy about. But I can honestly say I have never been involved with a more terrific group of young professionals as the graduates of this school. They're amazing people. So I'm going to follow my president, which I've found to be a good thing for a provost to always do, and talk a little bit about some reflections on how we got here. Dental school is considered to be 4 years, but as the students know, the program itself is 3 years and 9 months. So I use the 3 years and 9 months to be precise. I see a lot of people from a lot of different places here. If you stop to think about it, all of us have done different things, had different jobs, lived in different places. We've made probably hundreds or thousands of choices and decisions along the way. And you know what's neat? If you stop and think about it, all of those choices, all of those decisions that each of us made independently have somehow all come together to bring us right here in this place at this time. I think that's fascinating. And I wouldn't change anything I've ever done in my life if I would have missed this. We took a rather circuitous path from Chicago to Southern California to Maine. We didn't know Maine was east. We headed west first and then had to turn around and come back. But you know, if we had changed any of those decisions we made, we wouldn't be here today. And look at what we would have missed. We knew that coming here had the potential, for us anyway, to be a life-changing experience. But we didn't really appreciate how life-changing it would become. Each one of you have touched us in so many ways. I can't begin to describe it. When we came, we believed right away in the mission. We believed that a unique, innovative dental school would make a real positive difference in the lives and health of people in northern New England and beyond. And we didn't know it at the time, but we had a secret weapon to help build this school. We had these 62 people that we hadn't met yet. They're our secret weapon. We knew we had to find a group of pioneers to join us. And we didn't have a lot to offer. We had two things to offer you. We could offer you a place in the inaugural class, which has some value, of course. But maybe more importantly, we were able to offer you a chance to partner with us to help develop and build what I think is one of the finest dental schools anywhere. When you first came to interview, there were a few people here. I don't remember how many, but not as many as are sitting behind me today. We had the renovated Goddard Hall. That had been done. We had kind of the beginnings of a new curriculum. We had a few weeks planned anyway. We knew what we were going to do. We just had 3 more years to fill out. And we had a wonderful artist rendering of the Oral Health Center, that beautiful building over there. Danielle mentioned the cavity in the ground. That's all that it was. So you stop and think about it. These young men and women took a chance. We told them what we planned to do, and they believed us. They trusted us. I'm sure at times they were a little bit worried. Did we really know what we were doing? Was it going to be okay? They couldn't go to the upperclassmen and say, you know, how does this work? Did you guys get into residencies, or did you get into graduate programs, or did you get jobs? They just had us, and they had each other, but that turned out to be enough. It really did. Do you remember, I'm going to show you something. This is for the students. Do you remember this? I'm going to tell everybody else what it is. You can't see it, but I'll leave it up here. But please don't steal it. It's very, very, it's priceless to me. We had a dedication on October 2nd, 2013 of the Oral Health Center. And it was a long day, a very emotional day. We were all tired, I think. We had a dinner after the dedication to recognize donors and other supporters. And at the end of the night, I think when the president and I thought, well, okay, we can get out of these monkey suits and we can go home, we were asked to stay at the podium. And we were presented, each presented with these, I don't know, it's a sheet of glass. And the value of it is that these students, these are first-year students, so they have a high-speed dental handpiece in their hands with diamond burrs, I presume. Those are dangerous things for rookies to be operating. And I can only imagine the hours that they spent practicing carving their names in glass. And if you ever try that, it's not an easy skill to master. But they each signed their name, etched their name in glass on these, and gave them to us. Now, I'm pretty sure at that moment in time, our president had tears in her eyes. But I couldn't tell you that because my eyes were a little bit moist too. It was one of the most touching things that we have ever experienced. Now, I'll take it down, because I know you want to get a good look at me, but that's another thing that bothered me today. You all look younger and you all look better than you did 4 years ago. This is when you're supposed to say, so do you, Dr. Kolb. But there's another memory I have. Do you remember when we all gathered in the lecture hall? Each of you took turns talking about your lives, your stories, your journeys, the paths you took to get to dental school. I'll always, always remember that. For those of us who were there that day, it was magical. It was really, really magical. The stories came from the heart. They were emotional, enlightening, humorous, awe-inspiring. We couldn't believe the lives you lived. And many of you have had experiences that I've never had, and it was fascinating to hear those. At the end of that time, we knew for certain that we had picked the right group of young men and women to take this journey with us. You not only had the academic background to be successful in what is a very difficult curriculum, but you had and you still have the wisdom, the strength, and the character that we needed to make this dream a reality. And we're forever grateful to you for that. Of course, you know, you might be a little mad at me. For a time I left you to go off and be a provost. And don't ask me what a provost is. It's only been 4 years and I haven't figured it out yet. But the president asked me to take on this role. And one thing you need to know about Dr. Danielle Ripich, she's a very inspirational person, someone that I've been proud to know in my life. But when she asks you to help her, the only possible answer you can give is, when do we start? That's it. She's already figured it out, and she knows she's asking you to do something that you don't even know you want to do. So it's been a real blessing for me to work closely with Dr. Ripich and help support the dental school from a distance. And I wouldn't trade that experience, but you know, it's another choice that you make that leads to things you don't expect. And if I hadn't taken on the role of provost, I would not have had the great honor and privilege of standing on that stage today and presenting you as graduates to the president to get your degrees. That was a big deal for me, another moment you've given me that I won't ever, ever forget. The other thing that being a provost led me to was it gave me the opportunity to help appoint John Ryder as dean. Probably one of the best decisions I've made since I got married 20 years ago. And I'll pay for saying that, but I can't help it. Dr. Ryder has believed from day one in the mission of the school, and he has never varied. But you know what? He's done us one better. He's found new and creative ways to expand and implement that mission. And in my opinion, and I don't know all of the faculty, I'm getting to know them a little bit. They're probably worried about who is this guy that's coming back to the dental school. He has put together one of the finest groups of faculty and staff that I've ever had the pleasure to meet, and I hope you agree with that. I'd like you to recognize your faculty and staff right now on my behalf. You know, John gave me a time limit for this, but I tend to take those things as broad guidelines, not rules that I have to follow. What is it you told me earlier? It's compulsory but not obligatory? Right. Yeah, okay. It's a funny thing. I was thinking about today and what I would say and what I would share, and for some reason I was thinking about an old Jack Nicholson movie. Do any of you even know who Jack Nicholson is? If you don't, ask your parents. They'll tell you. Well, he was in a movie. He played kind of a socially challenged character, I would say. And he was involved again with a woman who was a character who was played by Helen Hunt. And they kind of had this on-again, off-again relationship. But the female character spent a lot of time during the movie trying to bring him around, try to bring out the best in him. And at one point, he finally said to her, "You make me want to be a better person. But you do for me. But you do for all of us. You've inspired us to be better and to do better. With your enthusiasm and dedication, you've helped us build this program, this very unique program. As the president said, you've already established a tremendously positive reputation, not only in the university, but in the community and in the region. You did beat Harvard and BU and Tufts and UConn in that debate at Yankee Dental, and we're always going to remember that. The poor dean of Harvard has been depressed ever since then, but you'll now officially become alumni. And I know I'm not going to ask you for money right now. But I was thinking about it. But the connection that we've made, that you've made with the university and the school is for life. It won't ever go away. Your future reputation will be tied to the reputation of the college going forward. The reputation of the college will be measured by how you continue to conduct yourselves as professionals. Those of us who remain, we're going to continue to dedicate ourselves to ensure that your diploma always stands for excellence for the rest of your lives. And I'm going to end with a quote from Isaac Newton. Do you know who Isaac Newton was? Oh, well, this is good. These are liberally educated young men and women. He said, "If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. You are our giants. You really are. Future generations of professionals will stand on your shoulders, and they will be forever grateful for what you've accomplished and the foundation you've built for them. Thank you for sharing this time of your lives with us. Thank you very much. It has been an honor and a privilege for me to know each and every one of you. Keep taking chances. Keep pushing the envelope. Keep just being who you are. We can't wait to see all the great things you're going to accomplish in your lives, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for choosing the University of New England College of Dental Medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Coble. It's now my privilege to introduce today's keynote speaker. Dr. Richard Valakovic is the president and CEO of the American Dental Education Association. He has been a leader in dental education since joining ADEA in 1997 after more than 20 years of research, practice, and teaching of pediatric dentistry, oral medicine, and radiology. Dr. Valakovic has served on the faculty of Harvard School of Dental Medicine and the University of Connecticut School of Dental Medicine. He is a diplomat of the American Board of Oral and Maxillofacial Radiology and is certified in pediatric dentistry and dental public health. He is the current president of the Interprofessional Education Collaborative, also known as IPEC, in Washington, D.C. Dr. Valakovic earned his BS from St. Louis University, his DMD from the University of Connecticut School of Dental Medicine, and he holds a Master's of Public Health degree and a Master of Science degree in Health Policy and Management from the Harvard School of Public Health. He has completed residency in pediatric dentistry at the Children's Hospital Medical Center in Boston, and he is the author of more than 120 articles, book chapters, and monographs. Please join me. My pleasure to introduce Dr. Rick Valakovic.
Well, President Rippich, Provost Coble, Dean Ryder, esteemed members of the faculty, administration, graduates of the class of 2017, and assembled family and friends. It's wonderful for me to be back with you here in Maine on the occasion of the hooding of the first graduating class of the University of New England College of Dental Medicine. I know that you graduates, faculty and staff have been through much flux and change, as we've already been hearing about. But I understand that you did it with the pioneer spirit that is so much a part of Maine's history. You're all to be very much commended for that. But I think that you all know that today is a major day of transformation in your lives. I well remember the exhilaration of my own graduation from dental school 40 years ago to the day today. It truly felt as if everything in my life before that day culminated in that event. On this one day today, this beautiful day in Maine, you moved from being someone with a lot of knowledge and a lot of education to being a member of a profession. On this one day, you go from being Mr. or Ms. to being doctor. On this one day, you become something that you will be for the rest of your lives. Like others before me, I've always found it interesting that this time of year is sometimes called graduation and sometimes called commencement, because obviously the two words are not necessarily synonyms. To graduate refers to the completion of a course of study, the culmination of an often arduous process. Graduation, on the other hand, commencement, on the other hand, means to start, whether it's a literal or a metaphorical journey. Commence thus marks a beginning and is pointed forwards. Because of this, in fact, it's both a day of graduation and a day of commencement. And I want to explore this turning point by first looking backwards and then looking forwards. Now behind you are all those hours of getting through immunology, getting those RPD cases completed, finishing your competencies. By the way, I hear that the wire bending competency is one that you might remember for the rest of your lives as well. For others, it was the challenges of getting all of your patient notes completed or that last molar canal obturation. But your time at the OPT or at Oasis helped get you through the week sometimes, I understand as well. And not only is your time here at UNE behind you, but those years of elementary, middle, secondary school, your initial interest in science, perhaps your early experience with your own dentist or orthodontist, your decision to apply to UNE in the first place, the excitements of the acceptance and starting out, followed by that crushing realization of the demands that a dental education is going to oppose. The late hours with books and instruments, the excitement of finding your own niche, and I'm sure that all of you will remember, as all of us do, that first experience with your first patient. Those are times you'll never forget. And in their own way, they have helped to bring you to today's turning point. So receiving your degree this morning, your hood this afternoon, says something about who you are and what you're capable of doing. You're not being given a degree and a hood today. You've earned them, and with a considerable amount of effort and discipline. And you've earned something of real value to yourselves, to your families, and to the world in which we live. On this one day as well, it's important to acknowledge that you've not reached this point alone. For the parents, grandparents, husbands and wives, lovers and partners, sons and daughters, other family and friends who have believed in you, supported you, probably in many ways sacrificed for you, this ceremony is also a culmination and a celebration. Whether the new graduate in your family is the first or the most recent in a long tradition, those of you, family, friends, you deserve to celebrate this turning point too. On behalf of the dental community in its entirety, I'd like to join these graduates in thanking all of you for the contributions that you've made to making this day possible. Thank you. So I'd like to acknowledge, in addition, the entire faculty, deans, staff here who also share this accomplishment with you. Not only have those of you guided the education of this group of new professionals, but also you are the key players in dental education as a whole. I'm thrilled to be experiencing with you such a wonderful time for the field of dentistry. Because of so many positive trends, you've been able to select from a large pool of applicants the best and the brightest to be your students, and then to develop them into the talented and skilled practitioners that they are today. So with all this preparation now behind you on this graduation day, let's turn to commencement for a second. What's ahead of you on what must be called, even if it's a cliche, this first day of the rest of your lives? Well, I have the happy privilege of reporting to you that you're entering an incredibly vibrant and wonderful profession that's absolutely overflowing with opportunities. Your futures are exceedingly bright. You're all going to do well. Your careers will be richly rewarding. But it's important to acknowledge that the rewards of dental professionals, all of us, are multiple and not just financial and not just status or anything else. There's many, many more. Dentistry has been reported to be at the top of the list of occupations by U.S. News and World Report for the last 3 years out of all the possible occupations and jobs in America. Number one, U.S. News and World Report. And of course, you never want to be ranked unless you're number one. So we need to take advantage of the fact that we're number one now. And in a recent Gallup poll, found that nearly 90% of adult patients were satisfied with the services provided by their dental professionals, maybe not the 100% that we saw here. For these reasons and many more, the dental profession is actually quite healthy and projected to continue to be improving in the future. Complementing these trends and certainly contributing to my continuing assessment of this time as a wonderful era for us is the massive expansion of procedures and techniques that enable all of us to serve our patients better than ever before. I think you know these improvements range from implant dentistry to new ways of providing aesthetic dentistry, to novel orthodontic treatments, to improve surgical treatments, tissue engineering, and beyond. You know, being in Washington, D.C., there's nothing that annoys me more when I go to a meeting than to hear from some uninformed person when they learn I'm a dentist say something like, well, nobody has cavities anymore, so what do dentists do nowadays? Say, well, thank goodness we don't have to worry about dental caries as much as before, and we can concentrate on the real health issues of sustaining oral health and helping people keep their teeth for a lifetime. So here you are entering this highly regarded, technologically sophisticated profession, and the demand for our care is only going to increase in the future. And thankfully, citizens of the state of Maine and the rest of northern New England will benefit from your services. The rewards of the profession are, in a word, tremendous. But to those to whom much has been given, much is to be expected. So, folks, for a minute, I want to spend just the last few moments of my time with you today talking about the responsibilities that membership in the professions carry with it. And so I want to speak privately, just to those who are graduating today. The rest of you just tune me out, and I'll tell you when you can come back in. When you receive your license to practice, it will suddenly be legal and expected of you to perform acts that otherwise would leave you in prison for years. Think about it with me. With your dental license, Society expects that you will do whatever is needed to relieve pain and suffering, even if it means using a 12B scalpel blade or arranging for someone to obtain narcotic drugs. To others, this might be assault and battery with a knife or selling drugs. Your education and training requires you to do things that otherwise would lead you to be arrested. You know, there's only going to be about 5,500 new dental licenses issued in the United States this year. 5,500. That's, when you think about it, 5,500 new licenses for a population of over 310 million people, a ratio of 1 license to every 60,000 people in the United States. Your dental degree gives you opportunities and responsibilities that are pretty awesome. We all need to respect these responsibilities as a professional every day of our lives. So now the rest of you can come back in. Equally important to making a commitment to a lifetime of learning is making a commitment to a lifetime of service, what I think of as doing good in the profession. For all of the increased demand I outlined earlier, many people in the United States still have limited access to dental services and few options for paying for the treatment that they need. And all of you know that, having been out on your externships over the past years. Nearly half the population does not have private dental insurance, and coverage for dental treatment is limited under Medicare and Medicaid. A final way of doing good in the dental profession is to serve as role models and mentors, as previous speakers have mentioned. But you know, unfortunately, the folks in Hollywood have provided society with some pretty poor fictional characters of dentistry, don't you think? Just think about the movie Horrible Bosses, where Jennifer Aniston is cast as a sex-crazed dentist who harasses her staff and patients. Or Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors, I'm your dentist! Then there's The Dentist and The Dentist 2, both of which portrayed dentists as psychological killers. And of course, the dentist in the children's animated film Finding Nemo, who captures helpless clownfish Nemo and plans to give the little fish to his violent braces and headgear-wearing niece. Don't you just cringe when somebody says it was so difficult, it was like pulling teeth. We all know that if you have the right wrist action, the extraction of a tooth is not all that difficult. Or when somebody says it was the most painful thing that I've ever done, it was worse than a root canal. Endodontic therapy performed correctly does not necessarily have to be so painful. Or I was so nervous it was like being in the dental office waiting room. You know, all of us know better, but meanwhile, those of us in the profession have to serve as living role models for everyone from our patients to children to those who may be future dentists. It's part of our responsibility to our profession and to yourselves to do so. So as you receive your hood today, the amount of time required for you to walk across this stage will be little more than the 2 minutes required to do a simple Google search. And it can seem that the surrounding hoopla of today will eclipse the moment that really matters, when that hood declaring your entry into the dental profession is given to you. I earnestly hope that you do not get hung up in the hoopla, for the one-on-one personal delivery of your hood today will forever forge in your minds and hearts the distinctly personal nature of the dental profession and the powerful personal responsibility that it entails. Whether you're a permanent or a temporary resident of the state of Maine, you represent its wonderful history and spirit, and in the phenomenal era of the dental profession that you're now entering, the possibilities before you are endless. On this day, this turning point in your lives, I extend to you my heartiest congratulations for how far you've come and wish you the greatest successes with how far you're going to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. And thank you so much for coming in your busy schedule and coming up and spending time with us. We will now begin with the presentation of the hoods portion of the program. Our students spend 3 years as part of one of 4 clinical group practices Caribou, Denmark, Eastport, and Farmington are the names of the practices. The students and group practice leaders get to know each other very well over that time period, with the GPLs becoming their primary guide and mentor. Each student will be hooded by their respective group practice leader. Placement of the hood symbolizes the completion of the Doctor of Dental Medicine degree. As part of today's ceremony, each graduating student in the class of 2017 will also receive a special gift of a medal with the seal of the College of Dental Medicine. Each medal is engraved with the respective student's name. Provost Coble, and it has a picture of me on the back. Provost Coble will present the medal to each of the graduating students. We would like to invite the special family member or guest designated by the graduate to meet the graduate after they exit the stage to the left over here. The special family member or guest will present the graduate with a rose, and a photograph will be taken. When the name of the respective group practice of your graduate is announced, please proceed to form a line at the designated location at the left side of the stage area where you will meet your graduate. I would now like to invite Assistant Professor Dr. Michelle Sau to present the graduates. Would the Marshal please escort our Doctor of Dental Medicine candidates to the platform for hooding? And Dr. Coble and Dr. Rippage, would you?
For the Caribou group practice, I invite Dr. Fields Ferrier and Dr. Michael Truscott to hood the candidates. Would the candidates please step forward? Dr. Kelsey Elizabeth Cohn. Dr. Rachel E. Kreischer. Dr. Karis R. Flynn. Dr. Mallory E. Goding. Dr. Mitchell Alexander Momorsky. Dr. Jennifer Lynn Miedema. Dr. Douglas Allen Narker. Dr. Russell Arlington O'Connell. Dr. Susie Elizabeth O. Dr. Shafat Rabbi. Dr. Jonathan Gregory Schneider. Dr. Joshua Joseph Sivany. Dr. Ewing Jackson Threet II. Dr. Sherry Lynn Valley.
Thank you, Dr. Sauer.
Dr. Cha T. Vu. Dr. Christina Irene Wang. For the Denmark group practice, I invite Dr. Jay Boschman, assisted by Dr. Namita Kandawal, to please hood the candidates. Would the candidates please step forward? Dr. Jesfor Garita Ba. Dr. Emily A. Burns. Dr. Jordan Brooke Dunn. Dr. Rebecca B. Filan. Dr. Frank Christian Gassler. Dr. Vidushi Gupta. Dr. Benjamin Barton Higgins. Dr. Katie Jo Hunt. Dr. Alex Michael Kerbaugh. Dr. Adam Elwood Latalian. Dr. Jawad Ali Mirzai. Dr. Nathan Thomas O'Neill. Dr. Enrico Paul Ross. Dr. Chelsea A. Toussaint. Dr. Bradford Thomas Wenzel. For the Eastport group practice, I invite Dr. Elias Shatta and Dr. Jeffrey Feingold to hood the candidates. Would the candidates please step forward? Dr. Shiloh Annis. Dr. Michelle Nicole Berry. Dr. Rithi Duftari. Dr. William H. Fenn. Dr. Jacob Carlton Philibrown. Dr. Lauren A. Gallant. Dr. Anna Ivanova. Dr. Robert S. Jarris. Dr. Trevor J. McCullough. Dr. Brett W. Morgan. Dr. Amanda L. Munger. Dr. Christopher D. Pochabit. Dr. An Ha Fung Tran. Dr. John Engel Verploeg. Dr. Kenneth Remy Youth. For the Farmington group practice, I invite Dr. Lionel Vachon, assisted by Dr. Peter Larrabee, to hood the candidates. Would the candidates please step forward? Dr. Courtney Bridget Baker. Dr. Dorothy Lynn Joanne Cataldo. Dr. Brian William James Cicero. Dr. Isha M. Gandhi. Dr. Amber Gloria Gelinas. Dr. Tyler R. Hancock. Dr. Tan Van Huynh. Dr. Amy E. Landry. Dr. Kyle L. Limatainen. Dr. Christina Marie McCann. Dr. Dustin Danny Nadeau. Dr. Ava O'Neill. Dr. Julia V. Servetnik. Dr. Alton R. Thomas. Dr. David Andrew Velick. Dr. Nicholas D. Wentworth.
Congratulations, class of 2017. It's not over yet, though. You never know when the tears are going to come. I don't know. It's even subconscious. I just see a person's face or a sound or something, I just start tearing up. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. David Velick, President of the Class of 2017, to address the graduates and lead the graduates in the Dental Pledge. Dr. Velick.
You'll have to give me a moment. I have a prop. Good afternoon, President Rippich, Provost Koval, Deans Ryder, Ferrier, Kimmis, and Martinez, and all of the administration, faculty, and staff of the University of New England College of Dental Medicine. Thank you. Thank you for your vision and unwavering dedication to this college and to us. Thank you to all of the family, friends, spouses, significant others who are here today. You're the people who are most meaningful to us and who have supported us. And a special thank you to my wife, Karen, and boys, Bennington and Willowthorpe, who you just saw. Thank you for supporting me. And now to the doctors of the inaugural class of 2017. It has been an honor, a privilege, and a genuine pleasure to have spent the preceding 3 years and 9 months. It used to say 4 years, but Provost Koval corrected me. It is with a very happy heart that I stand before you today and offer the following recommendation for your consideration. Brush your teeth. If collectively we have learned one single thing during this brief interlude of life called dental school, it is that toothbrushing is generally considered to be beneficial. That's about as definitive as it gets. Usually what happens with recommendations is that you spend years examining the available evidence in an attempt to answer a meaningful question. Are whale sharks predators? With gusto, can I hear the nays? No, maybe we will have consensus. Can I hear the yays? Yeah. Consensus, I wasn't expecting that. Normally it's up for debate. And that's what it's been, collegial debate. And this is the culmination of it all in this surreal day. Here we all are dressed up in our fancy bathrobes and tiny capes with superfly hats. We're sitting in what until recently was a military garage. But what better time or place for reflection, introspection, contemplation, celebration, and of course, photographification? Our time here has been the stuff of legend. And you've already heard about the hole in the ground and how Dustin filled that in. Thank you, Dustin. And you heard about the plans. When we arrived here, they were underway. They developed along with us. And out of blind faith or a proclivity for risk-taking, we each committed. And we got here. We got the building, the all-important physical space. Students arrived, education commenced. We learned about cone beams, master cones. We met the prosthodontist Miles Cone. And now we have the newly minted Dr. Kelsey Cone. And let us not forget a certain famous parking cone. I had it customized. Now, I know with shenanigans like that, the faculty and administration behind me is really going to miss us. And to that end, we have commissioned a plaque listing the names of each of us as a gift to the college. And you can see it just over here to the left. It's temporary home here. My hope is that it'll go in the lobby of the Oral Health Center, but it is wood and there's a fireplace there. Maybe it's kindling, I don't know. But the laughter that you just heard, it's one of my fondest memories of our time here. There wasn't a single day that I didn't hear laughter. Sometimes it was giddy, sometimes it was nervous, sometimes it was just body-shaking belly laughter. Always honest, never malicious. Laughter is a pure pleasure and also therapeutic, cutting through the fog of stress. I hope that you'll take that laughter with you, cherish it, apply it to your lives. If you find yourself living without laughter, look inside yourself, listen to those around you, figure out what the hell went wrong and start in on fixing it. And we're all equipped to do that because we are fixers and doers. We each are problem solvers well trained for handling difficult situations. Think about what it is that we do. Dentistry is hard work, and most people have a lot of teeth. And those teeth are arranged so particularly, like a pair of tiny, slippery Stonehenges. They're protected by an unpredictable and impulsive tongue serpent. They live in a dark, wet cave that can collapse shut with the ferocity of a bear trap at the slightest provocation. And then we take a tiny drill, handpiece, and we drill a tiny hole, only to fill it back up with some goo that only works if it's shaped just right and stays perfectly dry along the way. It sounds insane. Why do we do that? We do it precisely because we're problem solvers who thrive on challenge. We use our skills to take a set of literally small actions to address a problem. And we do it over and over again. And each time we do it, the results are a little better or a little more beautiful. Small actions to address a problem. The skills that we have honed here will serve us and our patients well. I have no doubt about that. But I would like to ask each of you to find a passion to complement our profession. Let us use our skills beyond the practice of dentistry. Find something that you're passionate about, then apply dentistry in copious amounts. take small actions to address a problem and do it over and over again. Dentistry affords us the opportunity and the skill set for each of us to be an agent of change. Listen actively, improve yourselves, improve your patient lives, improve the collective experience by taking small actions and do them to solve problems and do it over and over again. Commit yourself to fixing something bigger than a cavity, and trust me on the toothbrushing. Now, new doctors, please stand and join me in taking the dentist pledge. It's on the back of your program. So recite along with me. I, David Velick, as a member of the dental profession, shall keep this pledge and these stipulations. I understand and accept that my primary responsibility is to my patients, and I shall dedicate myself to render, to the best of my ability, the highest standard of oral health care and to maintain a relationship of respect and confidence. Therefore, let all come to me safe in the knowledge that their total health and well-being are my first consideration. I shall accept the responsibility that as a professional, my competence rests on continuing the attainment of knowledge and skill in the arts and sciences of dentistry. I acknowledge my obligation to support and sustain the honor and integrity of the profession and to conduct myself in all endeavors such that I shall merit the respect of patients, colleagues, and my community. I further commit myself to the betterment of my community for the benefit of all society. I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and code of professional conduct set forth by the profession. All this I pledge with pride in my commitment to the profession and to the public it serves. Thank you. Be seated. And congratulations.
You forgot your cone. I wondered what happened to that thing. So it's an inside joke, but I have a parking space. And, I probably had. And the cone protected my parking space. And then one day it disappeared. Thank you, Dr. Velick. I'd like to now invite Dr. Chelsea Toussaint. She told a story of her journey to dental school at an event that we had last year, and it was so touching that I asked her to share it with us today. So please welcome Dr. Toussaint to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Ryder. I am very happy to stand here as a brand new graduate of UNE's College of Dental Medicine. I'm sure we can all say the same thing. Before I tell my story, I would like to start with a question. Who here knows where Madawaska, Maine is? This is incredible. That's great. Awesome. I wasn't expecting that. So for those who don't know, Madawaska is the northernmost town in our state, one of the four corners of the U.S., and it's right on the border of Canada. So it's a 6-hour drive from here. Never gets any shorter. So up in the county, we have endless fields, valleys, family farms, wilderness, and some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It's where I was born and raised, and it's built within me a character of hard work and appreciation for Maine's rural beauty. As a child, I was always outside somewhere, building things or getting lost in the woods, and I do recall the 12-hour days working on a potato harvester. It's pretty good money at the time for high school. But while the county is known for its natural beauty and sense of community, we still experience the same hardship that affects other rural communities across our state, a shortage of dental care. As a child, I remember being driven into Canada for my dental appointments because our town didn't have a permanent dentist, and the nearest one was 25 miles away. Yet, even though we had to go to a different country for our care, we still had it easy compared to the many families in Maine and northern New England where getting to a dentist is beyond their means and they can't even afford the care that they need once they could get there. And I didn't realize that back then. So some years go by, I graduate high school. This is when I really started thinking about a career and what I might like to do. I remember thinking I'd like a few things: a flexible work schedule, free nights and weekends, and family time on the holidays. I also want to change lives in a good way. Well, these coordinates navigated me straight into the dental field. It's a very good place to be, and next thing I know, I was accepted into UNE's dental hygiene program. What an opportunity. So I became a dental hygienist and then returned home to practice in northern Maine. I really loved my job and everybody I worked with, the patients, the care providers, the staff. Yet after a year, I realized I wanted to do more for my patients, and I also wondered where I might be working once both my employing dentists retired in 5 to 10 years. And with perfect timing, UNE presented the amazing opportunity to become a dentist in my home state. A brand new dental school, not even built yet, and next thing I know, I was accepted into the very first class. What an opportunity. So I told my dentists I was leaving to go back to school, and they both said it was very bittersweet because losing a hygienist now meant they could gain a dentist in the long run. And if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's the long run that's the most important. So when our class arrived at UNE, we met our innovative curriculum and we hit the ground running. In week 1, we used our handpieces, drills, to fill some cartoon teeth on a multi-layered block. And then once we acquired some clinical skills, we moved to our simulation clinic where we were each introduced to our own state-of-the-art patients with real medical histories and diagnostic findings to guide our treatment. This led us to become student dentists at UNE's Oral Health Center, where we would perform surgical extractions with interpreters on real patients with complex medical histories and high anxiety levels. We've come a long way. And finished that off with 3 12-week community-based rotations, and here we are. So while the road wasn't easy, it's easy to say we've grown immeasurably under the guidance of our great leaders at UNE College of Dental Medicine. Through our education, we've learned everything we need to know to provide highest quality, compassionate dental care. And I'll spare you all the details, we just don't have 3 years and 9 months. But I will mention a few things we learned at UNE. We learned that if we work as hard as is required, the world will accommodate our goal. We learned that our opportunity for growth is as big as we can make it. We learned that as long as we continue to pursue opportunities, the opportunities will never stop coming. And most of all, we learned that the net result of sacrifice and dedication lies far within the realms of happiness and success. Overall, this program is one of the greatest opportunities I have been given in my life. I'm sure everyone in our class can agree with that. At UNE's Oral Health Center, we don't just rebuild teeth, we rebuild the entire patient care experience, and we change lives in a good way. Our efforts are reaching far beyond Maine and New England, far beyond expectations, and far beyond where we can even envision the future. This is why I'm honored to be part of Maine's very first class of dental medicine. We are a movement to end the shortage of dental care in underserved communities, and we are actually moving into these areas to establish our practices and our lives. I know one day I'll be giving a new dental home to a community like mine. So thank you, UNE, thank you, my classmates and the faculty, our Portland community, and the entire state of Maine, and all of you here today. Class of 2017, let us continue our journey to improve the world wherever we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Toussaint. I read an essay written by Daniel Bernstein, who was a 2016 graduate from the University of North Carolina Dental School. It was in a publication of the American Dental Association. It describes his thought while in dental school serving community and international patients. I'd like to share a few lines of it entitled Worth the Wait. Waiting in lines of people just waiting. Some wait through cold nights, others wait through hot days. Some stand while some sit, waiting for dental care, waiting for pain relief, waiting for aesthetic improvement to their smile. I've seen them wait in the villages of Nepal, the mountains of Peru, the Indian Health Service clinics of Arizona, the mobile clinics throughout North Carolina, and the Medicaid offices of Asheville, and the student-run volunteer offices in Chapel Hill. These patients are waiting to receive a skill and an art, a trade that relies upon trust, a service feared by some, while revered by others. All of this tireless waiting pushes me. It motivates me to pursue greatness. If they're going to wait for me, sacrifice their time, money, and energy all for me, it makes me want to be the best that I can be. I want the dentistry that I perform to be worth the wait. Class of 2017, I believe you are all worth the wait. It has been my pleasure to teach you and to work together as partners in the development of our college. If you remember the first lecture I gave you, it was about a young Buddhist monk and his 4-year journey to enlightenment through the contemplation of a tree. Remember that? After finding the right teacher, the young monk was tasked with describing the essence of a tree to his teacher. The monk worked tirelessly. He studied everything he could about trees. He even drew them. He made them out of wax. He dissected them. And he even joined tree organizations such as the American Tree Association and the Las Vegas Institute of Trees. Finally, after 4 long years of intensive study, to the point that the monk just couldn't take it anymore, his head spinning, he passed out. Then he woke up. He saw the blue sky, the clouds overhead, and he felt at peace with the world because he had become enlightened and finally graduated from monk school. So I'm going to end the ceremony with a quote from a real Buddhist monk and teacher that my friend Dr. Joan Sandell shared with me. Here it is. Final job of teacher, free student from teacher. So congratulations, class of 2017. You are now free. Before we conclude the program, I just want to make a few announcements. Please join us through the doors to your right for a reception and celebration of today's events. Be sure to watch the special video playing in the reception area dedicated to the class of 2017. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the team from Conference Services and Sodexo for making this ceremony possible. And I'd like to ask that all of our graduates and guests remain seated as we conclude the ceremony and the platform party recesses. Again, congratulations to all the graduates and the class of 17. Thank you so much for coming and sharing it with us. Thank you.